well, we'll see what happened. Let's go.
No.
Why can't you admit that you hit a car that was there?
I am more than willing to admit that our cars collided and that I do make mistakes sometimes, but I do not think that this is a mistake that I made.
Well,
because
causing
I
a
know
crash
for
is a
fact-
mistake.
I'm
You
sorry.
didn't do it on purpose.
Welcome to What Had Happened Was.
Where we take a peek into actual court cases and give you commentary based on our unique perspective and experiences, and also give you informational tips and tricks to help you avoid a what had happened situation.
Before we get started, give us a thumbs up, a tasteful comment. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of every video as they come out. All defendants are considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
This is 25 RO 1973. Zali, you were cited on the 6th day of April, 2:15 in the afternoon, Woodward and Buckingham, changing lanes without due care and caution. The options you have today are three. You can admit responsibility or deny responsibility, or you can admit responsibility with an explanation. How do you wish to proceed?
Deny responsibility. Would I be able to speak to the officer in a breakout room?
No.
Okay.
Why they gotta go to the breakout room?
Good question.
She want to talk to him about something that happened. What she want to
Oh,
convince
she
him
wants
of?
to cut a deal. Well, you're allowed to speak to the officer before the court starts and say before you waste the court's time. And if you work out a plea deal, it's where because for those of you who don't know, when you go to court, when you get a ticket, either you pay the ticket or you go to court. If you pay the ticket and he has a fine, it gives you, say, it's $5. But if you decide to go to court and you lose, instead of $5, now it's $45. So
Because she's denying responsibility.
exactly. So maybe she want to talk to the police officer. I guess.
Or explain to him in her way what
I
happened.
guess to get him to maybe undo the ticket. I don't know.
I'd like to deny. I'm sorry.
This is the date and time set for the hearing.
Okay. I would like to deny responsibility.
Could you raise your right hands, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
I do.
Yes.
The officer will testify first. Please.
Yeah, Your Honor, on April 6th of 2025 at about 2:17 in the afternoon, I was dispatched to a property damage accident or a traffic crash involving this Buick Encore driven by Miss Pizziali, is it?
Yeah.
During which it was found that she made a lane change over to the right in a lane that was occupied by another vehicle, essentially sideswiping that vehicle. And at that time, both drivers had admitted to me the same thing of what had occurred.
So she is in the left lane,
Yes.
cut over to the right,
Yes.
and hit somebody's car.
Yes.
And she says that she didn't.
She said she's denying responsibility. She's not taking responsibility for the accident. But at the scene of the accident, she told the police officers, her and the other party, both agreed that's what happened. So she said,
now
yeah,
she's doubling back, I guess, because now maybe she looked at what her insurance might be. If she, she might have that insurance that you look on the app and it'll be like that little thing. They'll be like, how much is your insurance? Oh, you can pay $3. And now she's like, it's going to go up to $25 if I admit an accident. So
well, yeah.
she's like, oh, I don't know if I want to admit this now.
Well, once you have an accident, an insurance company, you're now at greater risk because the fact that you had an accident, their philosophy is you can have another one.
Well, yeah, that's the same thing. Like Monday morning, if you're late one day, you're gonna probably be late the rest.
So we're gonna charge you again. So we're gonna charge you for that.
Ms. Pizziali?
So there are a lot of things that happened during that situation that are confusing to me.
So she's not sure she hit somebody's car now?
I don't know. Something was confusing, but
I'm telling you, she probably was like, oh my goodness, my insurance is gonna go up. I need to I need to figure a way out of this.
Well, I don't know this. I don't know what race you're going to figure out, but that calling the police to the scene is it's kind of out of your hands at that point. They respond to the property damage accident. We'll see. So let's see what's confusing. I want to hear what's confusing to her.
She's acting like she's not sure she was even in an accident. Like I
Maybe
don't
she's
know.
not. Maybe she's done this impression that basically that was not an accident.
Well, I hit his car, but we weren't in an accident.
Yeah.
I hit their car, but we weren't in it. It
Let's
wasn't an accident. Like, so it was on purpose then.
So it could be accident on purpose. Let's see what happens. Let's see what she says now.
I did turn onto Woodward going towards Buckingham, but I would say that I'm a very cautious driver. And when I
Have you ever met anybody who's going to tell the judge, "Oh yeah, I can't. I don't know my left
Your
turn
Honor,
from my left
I
turn.
am just
I don't even know.
reckless.
I don't even know how I got my license. I don't even know. I got it from a candy bar, like
I don't know who's working
candy
that day.
machine.
I don't know how I got through, but
Who's gonna say?
I don't know why I'm still driving, Your Honor. No,
No one's gonna say that.
no one's gonna say that.
Because even someone who's like impaired,
Right.
they really don't want to
I'm
admit that
fine.
they're impaired. I'm fine. I'm fine.
I know I can't stand.
They can
officers,
fall
but
on the floor and say,
I'm fine. Trust
the
me.
floor tripped me.
Just pick me up,
floor
and put me
tripping.
back in the seat, and strap me, and I'll get home. Trust me. I'll make it.
No one's gonna.
No one's gonna admit to being a not being a careful driver. It sounds ridiculous.
made the turn, I did recognize that there was enough space between me and the cars, like coming, I'm not sure what direction, but coming toward where I was headed.
Wait. How do you not know what direction the car? Oh, I was careful enough to know. No, you weren't, because you don't
That's
even know
very
what
suspicious.
direction the cars were going in when
Exactly.
you hit the cars. So you weren't paying attention.
This is sliding to left right away. I see.
For me to feel comfortable to turn onto Buckingham. As far as I know, I didn't register that car was separate from the pack or closer to me in any way. And he was
I didn't realize the car had separated itself from the pack.
I don't know.
Is that
Are we on the highway or the frozen tundra? What's going
is that a
on?
group of dogs?
Is this are we driving or is this Call of the Wild? What's going
Listen,
on?
I don't think she's realizing what she's saying.
She's not.
She's
She's
not.
obviously not.
She thinks that she's going to explain this away and everybody's going to be like, oh, okay, that was great.
It's
Like,
not
no.
bringing it together. It's not. This is not cohesing everything.
behind me the entire time. When I was getting over into the lane, my turn signal was on the entire time, and my car has safety features that recognize that, if someone's in front of me or behind me or even in my blind spot, to signal to me to stop or to not make that motion. And none of those signals went off at the time of when our cars hit each other.
Safety features.
So her car has safety features. But here's the thing. Those blind spots, those alarms, they let you know, right? But you're not supposed to rely on them. It tells you in the manual.
Right.
It's still supposed to it tells you those things because it has to tell you that because now you're too close.
Right. And guess what? Here's another thing she's forgetting. Driver error. Because it doesn't matter what safety features are there. There's a couple things. There's malfunctions. How does she know at that moment her thing didn't just decide to malfunction? She has no way of knowing that.
Right, because
You're sitting there making yourself fully defendable and reliable.
you're 100% guaranteeing on the
It's
machine
ridiculous.
that it's going to do everything that it's supposed to do.
In
A
order
machine, who knows? I mean, I'm not saying anything because,
Right.
all cars are cars, but a lot of electrical cars, her car could be having an electrical problem right now. Her car could need to be serviced. Her car
it's
could have
called
a recall.
malfunction.
Her car could have anything. And she
Anything.
said, oh, it did this. How many people have had problems with their cars and got a letter in the mail saying your car's been recalled for whatever, and they're not fixing it, or
Or
you got to come in and get an update, or
Exactly.
you got to get a patch, because once again, everything's computerized now.
Right. And besides it, also in the auto school, it still tells you get the big picture.
Right.
You're
It's
supposed
supposed to
to
1, 2, 3.
You should,
1, 2,
it's
3.
always good to turn
1, 2,
2, 3.
1,
And
2,
also,
3.
before you change lanes, look over your shoulder so you know for sure you're not in a blind spot. Because if you turn your head slightly real quick, You can definitely see it. There's somebody there, which she's relying on her instrument.
But
now.
here's the thing also. She's saying about what she's doing because the person could have sped up and they would have come out of nowhere and she still would have hit them.
Exactly.
And it still would be on her because
that's a phrase you've been hearing for decades now.
He came out of nowhere. She came out of nowhere.
They came out of nowhere.
They came out of nowhere. I didn't even see that.
I was there, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere comes that statement's been used over and over again. So you're not taking that as a factor as well.
And so I'm just a little bit, I was, unaware that he was in where he was. And when we hit, my car was going this way and, his was coming this way. And I genuinely don't know, like he was behind me the entire time until he wasn't. And then I'm not sure if he, was trying to get around me. He saw my turn signal on and didn't, I don't know how he got there, to be completely honest with you, because
were you in one lane?
She doesn't know how he got there.
He
drove there in his car, which is why you hit his car.
Yeah, he didn't miracle himself there. Yeah, he had to get there.
Wait to the judge. No.
Let's see.
And we're changing into another lane.
So I was turning from, I don't know the directions, but
I don't even think she heard herself say that.
She doesn't realize how she's not making herself look as a great of a witness, and how
I don't know where I was turning from. You're the one in the car, but you sure you didn't hit him, but you don't know where you were coming from.
You don't know where you were going. You don't know how they got you was ahead of them till they wasn't anymore. You don't know how you got there, but you're sure. Maybe. Doesn't work like that.
I was like in a turnaround.
In the turnaround?
Yeah. But she was changing lanes, now she's in the turnaround. She was
making a U-turn, illegal U-turn.
What's a turnaround?
I think she means a roundabout. It's called a roundabout.
Okay, roundabout.
They have them in like Massachusetts, and they have them in England.
A lot of places.
And some places, like in New England, they have them.
And there's places here they have them too.
Some places that they don't want to, it's not necessarily a stop sign or whatever, but it's a way, like when you have a way, the streets, converge.
Converge into that circle.
Yeah.
They all go around.
Called a roundabout. Called a roundabout.
Yeah.
Some places they installed them because maybe if it's like a really long street, right, and they might have had problems with people drag racing and stuff like that, and the crosswalks. They create them to stop because you have to literally go around to do it. So unless Mario Andretti, Goggles Paisano, unless you you have to literally slow down to go and to make the turn, because it literally
what happened to that guy in that picture, that roundabout.
It literally requires for you to slow down, curve around, and then pick up the street and keep going.
Right.
Or you can, if you want to, you can go. It's a four-way. Way. Because if they have a lot of problems with people not stopping at the stop sign,
and this is to break the flow of traffic,
and it's a big enough street,
so this is guaranteed to slow you down,
and to break
it's like them bumps in the street,
right? Like you said, break the flow of traffic.
Like right before Buckingham Avenue, and so I was, crossing over to get onto Buckingham. Does that make? I'm not sure if that makes sense.
So
I wasn't driving like in the same direction as the man. I was in a
so you're doing the Michigan left, so you went from one way on Woodward to the other way.
Correct. But okay. Buckingham was like almost like right across from that turn, so I was just kind of like moving, like through the lanes with caution. And I'm not sure if he was.
She clipped the lane.
Yes, she did. There's no way she could be moving with caution and cause a side swipe like that. No.
They said they came out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
She clipped the lane. She probably
was not sure what I am.
She was in one lane and it was trying to get over to the other lane real quick.
And now she wasn't going. Now she's not going in the direction the other car was going. Well, where were you at?
So where were you going the opposite way? So you crashed into him head on?
Again.
She needs to stop. She should have just.
She should quit while she's ahead.
Was trying to get in front of me or like trying to, pass me as I was, trying to get onto Buckingham. But I was aware of my surroundings. I had my turn signal on, and none of the signals in my car, told me to stop, and neither did anything that I had registered previously to make that turn.
So what's
You know,
she saying? The car didn't tell her to stop
you
now?
know how ridiculous that sounds? The car didn't tell me to stop.
The car didn't tell me. I didn't stop because the car didn't tell me
I thought
to
you're
stop.
supposed to tell the car to stop. That's what I thought.
I thought your foot is supposed to stop.
Exactly. You tell your foot, step on the brake, and the brake tells the car, hey, car, stop.
The car
I
didn't
don't know.
tell her to
We now
stop.
take a consensus of whether they're going to stop or not. And you're the last. They make it vote, and then they let you know what they decide they're going to do. What is this?
So I'm not.
What about looking where you were going?
I was looking where I was going. I was, and
Didn't you see the car?
that is what is confusing. I'm not.
So she was looking, but she didn't see it.
And that's what was
She
confusing.
doesn't know what the car came out of. He was in front of her. He was behind her. He was next to her. He
Came out of
wasn't
nowhere.
there.
But she was aware of what she was at.
But she was because the car and the car didn't tell her to stop.
Right, car didn't tell her to stop, and the car was moving with caution.
She was driving with caution.
Yeah. Okay.
Thinking whatever, like.
Make it make sense. That's ridiculous.
Has your car ever told you to stop?
My car had
My
never
car
told
has
me to
never
stop.
told me to stop.
I told my car to stop a couple of times. They didn't want to stop, but it had to. But it never told me to stop.
I just put my foot on the brake. I don't tell the car anything.
Your car doesn't even talk to me when I drive your car. It won't even speak to me, so I don't know.
Because my car doesn't like you.
I guess it makes sense. Yeah.
It wants to know why are you driving me. What happened?
What happened is I'm driving. That's what happened. So.
Put a comment below if your car has told you to stop.
Yes, yes, please do.
And what kind of car you drive.
Right. What kind of car did you drive and it told you to stop?
Rise of the Machines.
T2.
Sure, I don't know. He wasn't. I didn't.
Well, Scotty didn't beam him down.
I'm sorry.
Scotty didn't beam him down.
I'm not sure.
I guess I'm dating myself with Scotty.
I'm sorry.
But the bottom line here is that there was a vehicle in the lane that you were going into that you didn't think was there.
Right, and I didn't see it. Like he was he was far behind me from what I registered for me.
And yet the two sides of the cars were in contact with each other.
So the front of my car, and the back of his car. So as I was turning, I don't know, I guess as I was turning, my car and the back of his car kind of hit like this. And that was so obviously it looks like my car hit his car, but he wasn't I had no. And I know it's hard for me to explain because it the way that our cars hit makes it look like I totally hit him and I wasn't paying attention, but I know that not to be the case. And
She knows that her car didn't hit his car, but yet your car did hit his car.
It just looked like her car hit his car, but she knows that's not to be the case.
So even though the cars hit each other, because she just went back and forth and agreed and disagreed with herself.
She's under the impression that she's actually making sense, even in the fact that she said, I can't explain it. Well, you can't explain it because it doesn't make any sense. That's why you can't explain it, because if you can make it make sense, you'd explain it. You can't. It defies the logic.
She's not. Then help us, because the reason why she said, let me explain. She said she's going to explain, and yet she still doesn't have an explanation.
Yeah.
So we're all stuck here. And the judge stopped it with one word. He said, why? Why? He just let her ramble on for the transcript. I know the court stenographer is like, what?
What? Exactly.
She's going to read that, or they're going to read it over later on and be like, did you read that? Let's read that again.
I concur.
in the car.
Why do you think that's not the case?
Because I am a cautious driver, and I especially driving on Woodward, a 4-lane highway, does make me a little bit nervous. And I know that I would not, and I didn't feel comfortable turning until I knew that all of the cars, until I felt safe enough to turn onto Buckingham without, getting in the way of other cars or other cars, cutting a little bit too close to me. I was waiting in the turnaround until I felt safe enough, and I did feel safe enough, and somehow he came and our cars collided. I don't know if...
I know the judge is like, what? Spinning. Because She's like, I'm cautious, but I was at the roundabout, but I stopped, but I did this,
I was
but I didn't do
confident,
this,
but now I'm afraid.
but I'm afraid.
I know I was going, but I'm not too sure
I know
what's
I
going
know I was
on.
going, but I did stop. He came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
but he wasn't there.
I was going this way. I don't know what way he was going.
I don't know where
what
he
way
was going. I don't
What?
know what I was doing. She doesn't have any idea what's going on. And
Not a clue.
here's the first problem. When you don't stop at the stop sign, I'm not talking about those rolling stops that people love to do. I'm talking about physically stop.
Yes.
Take your foot off the gas, put your foot on the brake, and stop. And then do the 1, 2, 3 and look.
Right.
You rolled through the stop sign. You blew the stop sign. You did. You could paint it any way you want to.
Yeah. Bottom line is the bottom line. Complete stop means just that. Complete
That means if
stop.
somebody was
No
recording
motion.
you, they would see you physically stop, not move slow. Because
And
people
then take
love
off
to
again.
people love to roll through a stop sign and then they can't figure out what happened.
He had maybe turned onto Woodward at like around the same time that I was turning onto Buckingham. I'm not sure. But
Would it
from my
matter?
understanding, he was
Would it
not in
matter?
my blind spot. He was not in front of me. He was far behind me for me to feel safe and comfortable enough. And the passenger in my car can agree to that as well. Like, and none of the signals in my car went off,
Man,
which is
when you're
why I was-
driving, you have a duty not to turn onto a road. You were coming out of the Michigan left.
correct.
You have a duty to stay there at the stop sign until it's clear.
I agree. And that is exactly what I did.
No,
So
it
I-
isn't what you did.
The definition of an accident
Go ahead. What is it?
is an unfortunate event resulting especially from carelessness or ignorance.
Oh, which means you weren't being careful and you didn't know. So
Right. So she didn't
she's-
stop at the stop
right
sign.
now she's the epitome of that definition because
So-
she said she didn't know several times.
Right.
And
So-
so the fact that she said that she was careful, she admitted that she hit him. So which one is it?
So if you don't stop at the stop sign,
Uh-huh.
and then you don't look before making the left turn,
Uh-huh.
and then you don't look again,
Go on.
and then somebody else is coming,
Okay.
and then your rate of speed, that's what
Uh-huh.
causes an accident.
Exactly.
Unless you specifically pursue someone and run them off the road, which is that's premeditated.
So it's not an accident. An accident is again. It's
Right. It's a unfortunate
unfortunate incident.
incident that happened. So now you didn't stop at the stop sign. So you
It
were
wasn't-
already when you
there
didn't
was
stop
no
at the stop
intent.
sign,
No,
you
that
were
was-
already on your way to an accident. It was just a
Exactly.
matter of time of when it was going to happen. And if you develop a habit of not stopping at the stop sign, eventually your accident will catch up to you.
Yes, it will.
Thanks for watching.
And also give us a thumbs up, like, comment, share. Subscribe to the channel, and you'll be notified of every video as they come up. And get that algorithm going and help us build this channel this year.
And make sure that you don't wind up in a what had happened situation. Boom, boom, boom.